So it is International Booker Longlist time, and I couldn't be more excited. Hi, my name is Kim, and welcome back to my channel. If I am new to you, I am an avid reader of fiction, and as you can tell by the name of my channel, I follow the Booker Prize, the International Booker, the Women's Prize, as well as Canada Reads. Now, for the first time ever, I am probably more excited about the Booker International longlist than I am about the Booker. But let me give you a little bit of a back history about that. So prior to 2023, books were very, very difficult for me to get a hold of here in Canada. So I would follow the prize, be very, very frustrated with everybody reading these fabulous books that I couldn't access. So in order to support International Booker, once the books did come into print and come to North America, I would purchase them. However, they would be in my hands 6 to 8, if not a year after the winner was announced, and I often picked them up and put them down. Case in point, Flights by Olga Tokarczuk, translated by the amazing Jennifer Croft, who is an award-winning translator as well as novelist. All Night, My Blood is Black by David Diop, and this is translated by Anna Moshkovitz, as well as Tomb of Sand by Gitanjali Shree, translated by the amazing Daisy Rockwell. And as you can tell, I picked up this book. I absolutely loved it, but something new and shiny came in and I put it back down. So I need to change that habit, and that's one of my goals for this year. As well as The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Enriquez, which is a series of interconnected short stories. And it's translated by Megan McDowell, whose name you are going to hear a lot in this video. As well as Fever Dream by Samantha Schweppelin, also translated by Megan McDowell as well. Let me just double check that. Yes. And this is considered a classic, and I have not read this, but I'm hoping to change that this year. So last year for the International, I was able to get a hold of 12 out of the 13 books. I still can't get a hold of Jimi Hendrix Live in Kiev, which is a shame because I would really like to support a Ukrainian author. Now, 6 books from the International Longlist made my top 16 of 2023, and one of them was a book that was written over 20 years ago. And that's one of the fantastic, quirky parts of the International Booker, is that the book can be very, very old, but if it's translated and published in the UK within a certain recent time frame, then it's eligible. Also, my #1 book of last year made the International Booker longlist, and I am still upset that it didn't make the shortlist, let alone win. But I will list that video for you in the description box below. All right, so let's get to the predictions, and I have 8 of them for you. Now, I am fully intending on reading all of the long list as long as I can get a hold of the books. Last year, I read 10 out of the 13 or 10 out of the 12 of the long list. I still have to read While We Were Dreaming by Clemmis Meyer, and it's translated by Katie Derbyshire, as well as this absolutely gorgeous book, A System is So Magnificent It Is Blinding by Amanda Svensson, translated by Nicola Smalley. All right, so if we're going to talk the long list for the Booker, we really need to talk about Fitzcarraldo first. They are an absolutely amazing UK press. I adore them. They have never put a book in my hands that I did not really like. And the judges tend to pick a lot of their publications. Last year, there was, I believe, 3. So we're going to start off with them first. Now, in February, I reread Bonsai by Alejandro Zambria, translated by Megan McDowell, in anticipation of the long list. This is an absolutely stunning book, and I believe it's loosely connected to my first prediction. So my first prediction is The Private Lives of Trees by Alejandro Zambia, translated again by Megan McDowell, and it's based on a love story. And his writing is so unique. It is always short and sharp collections by him, but I'm hoping to see this. The next one I want to talk about is Mild Vertigo by Miko Kane, and it is translated by Polly Barton. And I reread this in February, and I will be doing a February catch-up for you in just a couple of days. And this is a microscopic look at a Japanese housekeeper and her family, and it really reads like a horror story in so many subtle ways. This was gripping, beautifully written, and kept me thinking. The next one I'd like to predict is the last of the Fitzcarraldo editions, and this is Rombo by Esther Kingsky. It is translated by Carolyn Schmidt, and it is set in 1966, in which two earthquakes ripped through northeastern Italy and the repercussions of that. Next on the list, at the beginning of January, my first read was Elena Knows, and I'll insert a copy here. I do have my own copy, but it has been lost in the void of the chaotic renovation that we are currently doing right now, but I'll catch up with you in February. The set behind me is part of it. And if you can maybe catch a reflection over my shoulder, you're going to see all sorts of construction equipment. So the backdrops are going to change, but I hope you keep watching. So I loved Elena Knows, and I really hope that Claudia Pinheiro's A Little Luck, which is translated again by Frances Riddles, she did Elena Knows as well. And this is about a shocking accident in which the main character returns in order to escape the repercussions of that. Next on the list is Greek Lessons by Han Kang. He wrote The Vegetarian, which was an amazing book. This one is translated by Deborah Smith and Emily Yi Wan. And it says, in a classroom in Seoul, a young woman watches her Greek language teacher at the blackboard. She tries to speak but has lost her voice. Her teacher finds himself drawn to the silent woman while day by day he is losing his sight. So sounds really, really intriguing. And I'm going to be reading this regardless of whether or not it makes the long list, because I will be covering this with my actual book club in April. The other one I would like to nominate is The Future by Catherine Leroux, and it's translated from the French by Susan Oru. This is a Canadian choice. It is a dystopian sci-fi with elements of magical realism, in which Quebec immigrates to Detroit, and it becomes Fort Detroit. Got my lips around that one. And it's about how it has become derelict because of climate change and other elements. And a mother returns to the broken down home of her murdered daughter in hopes of finding her grandchildren who are missing. I read this for Canada Reads, and I will link day 4 of Canada Reads if you're interested. It is a very interesting Canadian debate that is very passionate, and surprisingly for this year, the debaters were incredibly emotional. But check it out. It's fun, and the fashion is amazing. So I have 2 more picks for you. So my second last pick is called Solenoid by Mircea Cartescu, and it's translated by Sean Cotter. And I read a couple of pages of this book, and the only reason I haven't read it is because it is a chunkster. It is, I think, over 1,000 pages. The audiobook is 35 or 36 hours, and it's very much a stream of consciousness book, but I'm really, really intrigued by it. And, every long list has to have that one amazingly thick book. And last on my list is My Work by Olga Ravin. It's translated by Sophia Hershey Smith and Jennifer Russell. I am currently listening to this on audiobook and it is very, very intriguing. It is about the theme of motherhood, which has been a very hot theme over the past year. And it really takes a look at the misconceptions and the romanticized view of motherhood. She has also made the Booker International before with the book My Employees. So those are the 8 books that I'm hoping to see on the Booker International long list that's out on Monday, and I will have a reaction video for you as well. And as far as I'm concerned, even if none of these books make the list, the judges always bring forth a very intriguing and very compelling list of books that I am always excited and I will always be here for. So thank you so much for taking your time and spending it with me. If you're so inclined, please like and subscribe and leave a comment in the description box below. And I will leave you with a little clip of life on the lake in eastern rural Ontario. And I will see you soon for a February catch-up and the long list reaction. Thanks for joining me. Bye.